I don't know. No, I have not yet got this action. So you just tell us what you've done, and we can see.
This
Created a
one second.
campaign.
Sorry?
Did you create a campaign?
Yeah, I created a campaign with John Smith and went to lead. After going into lead, I clicked on convert.
Okay.
And yesterday, as far as I remember, you have changed the name after you converted. I didn't understand where you changed that name.
Change the name for.
After pressing on convert, you have changed the name from John Smith to Joe Smith or
No,
something.
that was a new contact that I created. Now go to accounts.
Are you able to view my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I'm clicking on accounts.
Open this account, American Express. Now this is an account, right? So once you have converted,
Yes.
this has got opened
Yeah.
as an account.
Okay.
And now scroll down and add a new contact.
Uh,
Scroll down, there is a contact section. Yeah, click on new contact.
right.
Here you can create one more contact called Joe Smith.
Oh, okay. So here you gave it as Joe Smith, is it?
Right. So here you can
Oh,
keep on adding more contacts here.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. Huh?
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. So here I am. So we talked about moving from campaigns to leads to accounts and then contacts and opportunities, right? Apart from Ravali, does anyone else have a question? No? Okay. So now after this account and contact, the other thing is the opportunity, right? Opportunity is the object where we will track all the deal related information. So what is the amount of the deal that we are going to get from them, and all that stuff needs to be tracked under opportunities. So information like maybe what is the amount that we're going to receive from them, $30,000, let's say. What is the close date? Expected close date means by when they are planning to buy. They say they are planning to buy by 15th of March. Okay. What is the stage? Stage is where you define the stage for your stage is where you define the stage for your opportunity, right? So what is the stage of the opportunity means? Is it at a prospecting stage, or is it completed? Is it closed? Is it still open? Negotiations going on? What is happening? Okay, so you can have different stages. So these are just few examples here, but you can have your own stages, right? So step by step, the progress can be tracked using this. So this is very important for your opportunity tracking stage. Okay, so different
Smith,
companies.
is there, I'm sorry, is there any initial order should be prospecting or something like that? Or default anything should be there?
Yeah, initially it should be prospecting, then so this order should be there, but
Okay.
the point is that some businesses do have some other processes, right? So every business will not follow this process. Whatever is your business process, you can customize it as per your requirement. How to customize, we'll get into that part later.
Yeah.
So give it a name and all that stuff and save it. So opportunity will have all those details. Okay. Now there are three things here, which is forecast, report and dashboard. We are not going to talk about that. This is all for reporting. We will talk about these things later. Okay. Forecast, reports and dashboard basically are used for doing the reportings and analytics part on the data. So this is something which we will cover after a few sessions. Okay, we'll talk about that later on. So once your opportunity is done, once if you are able to close the opportunity, so the opportunity will finally either reach a closed won or a closed lost. Okay, closed lost means you have lost the opportunity, closed won means you got the opportunity. Okay, you got the business. Now what happens here is, once you close the opportunity, you have got the deal, then there will be a contract that will be signed between you and the customer. That contract needs to be tracked under this. So this is the table where you will track the contract. Okay, so you can just create a new contract, the agreement signed between you and the customer. Which account? American Express. Who is the person from American Express who signed the contract?
I have a question.
Sorry?
I have a question.
Yeah, please go ahead.
When you start a business, how you close the account?
When
You're
you
saying that if you got the order, for example, if you got the order to buy the laptop from them, okay? So you are saying once you got the order, you are saying that you can close the contract. How you close the contract once you got the order?
then you don't close the account, you basically close the opportunity. So on the opportunity there is a field called opportunity stage, right? So to make an opportunity as a closed opportunity, you just have to go to that opportunity and change the field value.
Because you need to close the contract.
No, don't close the contact.
Okay.
Okay, contact is static data, opportunity is dynamic data. Things keep on changing there. Okay, so the customer who signed the agreement, then there is a contract start date. Let's say my contract start date is on 1st of February and it's a 10 months contract. Okay, so that is how it is. Rest other address and all those things can be put and then save it. So all the contracts will be tracked under this contract table. Okay, so not the details of the contract, but the start date of the contract, term of the contract, who is the person who signed the contract and all, right? That is there. So that you know that, okay, fine, when the agreement starts, when it expires and all that stuff is here. Then there is orders. Okay. So orders is where you will put the orders for your company. You just need to say new. If you have received an order, from which company you have received the order. In this case, it's going to be American Express. Received the order from American Express. Order start date. Let's say order start date is again 1st of February. Okay. Customer authorized by, which customer has authorized that order? Mr. Rogers has authorized, right? So basically, who raised that order? Company authorized by, who in our company received that order? Let's say Mr. Venkat received the order from our company. Contract. Okay, so this order has to be always connected to a contract. Okay, so it will be connected to an existing contract, so that this order is connected to some terms and conditions which are on that particular contract. Okay.
So can you explain again, sir?
Okay, so in order, what we are doing, basically we are tracking the information of the order that you have received. Finally, they have agreed to buy the product from us. Contract is also signed. Then they will put an order also, right?
Okay.
Send us 100 laptops. So this order object is used for tracking information about the orders. Okay. What is the order start date? Who is the person who raised the order from their side? Who is the person who authorized the order from our side? Right? Who received the order basically? What is the contract which is related to this order? Right? So that order is basically based on some terms and conditions. So those come from this contract. Okay. Save it.
Okay. Here we did not save anything which we contacted the first person.
This is the person who is the authorized person from the customer side.
Okay. Okay.
Fine?
Jeet sir,
Hmm.
I have a doubt on opportunities.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry, I'm going back and forth.
Uh-huh.
In opportunity, once you have the opportunity, you will finally, it will be closed won or closed lost, right? If you won the business, then then you have to do the close part. You have to change the status to closed lost, is it?
If you have got the business, then it should be closed one.
Okay.
And
After that, you come to contract.
yes, right. After
Okay.
that, you come to contract. Hello?
And if it is closed lost,
Then no contract. Means you lost business.
that's the end of the loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah. Okay. So if it's closed one, then only contract and other things will come into picture. If it's a closed lost, then there is nothing else. So nothing else.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So contract done, order done. Now go to the cases. Cases is basically meant for the customer complaints and the requests and all that stuff. Okay. So this object is where, let's say we have received the order, we delivered the product to American Express. Now after 2 days, I received a call from American Express. They said your laptops are not switching on. Okay, so that is a customer case that needs to be tracked here. Or they say that, okay, fine, 2 laptops do not have charging adapters. So that's a case. Okay, so those need to be tracked here. So from which account did I get? American Express. So the case coming from which account? Who is the person who called? Now this can be the old gentleman John Smith, who has called for this case, because he is the end user of the laptops. Got it? Now you will put a subject for this case and we'll put a description. Laptop adapters missing. This is the case. And description, you can say customer called and asked for replacement immediately, else they will cancel the order. So whatever. Okay. Description, internal comments. So those things can be put and the case can be logged in. Okay. So origin of the case has to be defined. How did you receive the case? You received the complaint using a phone or an email or through website. So we received it through phone. Let's save it. And status also. Okay. So now the case has been created.
What about internal case? We did not explain that one internal.
Internal comments, not internal case. Internal comment is something that is for your internal use.
Internal use by employees or by ourselves?
By employees. The users are the employees, right? If you are the customer support team person, you want to put an internal comment like the customer seems to be telling a lie. Now this is something that you don't want the customer to see. So this is an internal comment. Okay. Something that is confidential within your company. And this description is what the customer will also get to see. Correct? So whenever there is a complaint, you can have your internal comments and you can have the general description.
And case number is generated on its own, right?
Yes, it's auto-generated. Okay. Now, when we are talking about cases, there is another object here which is called solutions. Solutions is the object where you can track all the possible solutions. Okay. So solution is more like a knowledge base. Okay. Where a lot of problems and their solutions can be listed. Let's say monitor start issue. So you can say define the solution. Step 1 do this, step 2 do this, step 3 do this, step 4. Fine. So this is basically for the reference of your customer support team. While they are talking to the customer, they can look into this. Someone complains about monitor start issue, they can quickly check the solution details and tell them that okay, do this, then do this. Okay.
Hi sir, I have a question sir. Can we categorize it sir, like monitor, keyboard, and also that it would be even quicker in order to see the solution?
Yeah, we can do that as well. But for that we'll need to do customization because by default they have just given us 2 fields. Okay. So if you want to do categorization, then you will have to create one more field here. Like which category, monitor, keyboard, hard disk. So that can be done. So that is something which we will learn while we start doing the customization part. Okay. So solution thing is okay. Ravi Teja says contract number is also auto-generated. That's absolutely correct. Contract number is also auto-generated. Case number is also auto-generated, and the order number is also auto-generated. And then there is an object where you can track all your products. Okay. So products is where you list down your products. Let's say you have a laptop with the model number N9050. Okay. N9050.
Sir, sorry sir, I have a question. Contracts.
Yeah.
Sir, in contracts generally we sell services or products, right? I mean, basically, anything. While we sell it, we probably will also have a purchase order, sale order or something, right? So do we attach it to the Salesforce and send it, or else,
So you're saying the attachment part, right? You can attach it.
Okay, sir.
We have an option of attaching. So you can scan and attach that.
Okay, thank you.
Fine. So all your products need to be tracked under this products object that we have. Okay. So we're clear on this? So this is all a sample application or the default application that we have got from Salesforce. This is the default app. Okay. Now,
Hello, sir. I have a question.
please go ahead, tell me.
So, basically, what about the maintenance module?
Sorry, maintenance of.
No, I'm asking about the maintenance module.
Can you elaborate that a little more? I'm not able to understand maintenance module. Can you tell a little more what exactly you are talking about?
So, actually, if there is any product sale, you will have something like warranty and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if a customer is actually
That will be
facing
all
some
written in the
kind of
contract. That will be all written in the contract that you have signed. So see, basically, let us understand this thing. See, in Salesforce, we are not tracking the terms and conditions of your contract. There is a warranty or not warranty. We are not tracking that thing. That will be written in a the contract that you sign, right? Now here, what
okay,
we are tracking the start date, end date of that contract. That okay, fine. Why? Because agreements and all those things are not coming here. Now, contract number you have the start date, you have the terms of conditions and all those things. Your team can be sitting here and they can quickly look into this and give an information to the customer. This is a CRM, right? So this tool can be used by your customer support people. They can quickly see and say that your contract has expired. Okay. Now, what terms and conditions are written on that contract? One, you can have that PDF or scanned copy of the contract attached so that your customer support team can read those things. Fine. So they can write anything. So whatever is there. So if it is under warranty, will they replace? Will they not replace? That is something which has to be a part of the agreement. We have an option of attaching the scanned copy of the agreement here. Okay. But we are not going to track all those things as fields here. Got that?
okay, sir.
Right. Because if we start, you must have seen some agreements and contracts, right? So one agreement will be like 5 pages or 10 pages. So we cannot enter all the data here. So we are just entering important information here, and rest we can upload as attachments, PDF scanned copies and attach, upload that. Okay. So that is how it is. And that is the reason why I was telling you that Salesforce allows you 11 GB of data space for documents, for docs and files. So this space you can use for uploading those PDFs or attachments or scanned copies of agreements if you want. All right. Okay. So
Sir, I have some doubt. Can you please repeat, sir? I mean, from past 1 minute, I couldn't.
repeat what? Sorry. Tell me again.
About the space allocation in the default app, sir.
Okay. So his point was that what are the terms and conditions of the agreements, whether they they will replace, not replace, warranty, whatever it is, right? So the terms and conditions will be written in the agreement, right? We understand what a contract is, right? Contract is not on a computer; it's basically on a paper, right? Stamped paper and all that stuff. You can scan those things and you can upload it here. Can
Yes,
I?
sir, that's right. Yeah.
So okay, if I create a record here, that does not mean a contract, right? I will say a record here, create a contract record, that does not
No,
mean a
not at all.
contract. Contract actually has to be a contract. So that contract, if your customer support people want to see, in case, which most of the times is not required, then basically what they will need is, just think about a simple example, you use mobile phones, right? Before you take a mobile service, you sign an agreement, okay? Now you call the customer care for changing something or maybe changing a calling plan and all. Do you think that person who receives your call will have a copy of your agreement that you have signed? Not required, right? So let us relate it to the real-time examples. Think about real-time examples. Just don't focus too much on what this tab is talking about, but let's also try to relate it with the real-time examples, right? So every time customer support executive does not have to have that agreement in front of his hand that okay fine, the customer has called, I will have to read all the agreements, tell him and all that stuff. But in case you want, in case the company says no, my all customer support executive need to see the agreement, they need to read each and everything of it, then we will attach it. So they have given us 11 GB of space for documents and files to be uploaded. We can scan the agreement and upload it. That is our
Only 11 GB is my question.
only 11 GB. Actually,
Okay. 11
Have a
GB is very less, right?
Yeah, have a question. Yeah, exactly. 11 GB is very less if you're dealing with MNCs like so many things you have to upload it. Now, for example, if you got nearly 50 contracts.
okay,
So how
before your example, Venkat, one second. So whatever we are talking about here are generic things. You can pay extra when you talk about MNC and when we are talking about huge volume of data. We always have that option of paying extra and getting it. So 11 GB is by default, which is given minimum. You can extend that. Okay.
Oh,
So one more thing, when we are talking about documents, 11 GB is a good amount when we talk about documents. Okay. So that is one thing, because documents do not have that much of size. We feel 11 GB less because we are used to storing a lot of information like images, videos, music files. Those are the ones which take space. If you go back and check your hard disk and find some documents there, you will see that 11 GB is good amount of space, and we are talking of things on the cloud, right? So it's a good amount, but you always have that scope of increasing that. You can pay extra amount and get extra space. Correct?
Okay, we can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also see a question from Ravali. Says, what is the term that you use for opportunity? Can you define it again? To track what? Okay. Ravali, can you just explain your question? Ask it.
The basic definition of opportunity is to track sales, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Track the sales or deals
Yeah. Okay.
that you're going to get from the customer. Okay. So we are kind of okay here. We understand how the normal sales application is working. Okay. Now this is basically the job of an end user. Now whatever we have learned here is job of an end user, and there's something which you are not going to do. All right. So what they have given, what the way they have designed an application is just one thing. What we are going to do is in our training program we are going to learn how to design our own applications and how to put our own logics and customization things in the application. Correct? So that is what we'll be doing. So we'll get into that part now. Now, do you think what has been provided, what default application we just saw, this is called the standard app. Now, do you think the standard app is okay for every business? Any kind of business, every kind of business can manage with this standard app?
No, sir, not at all. I mean, there are a lot of things which are junk and which are a lot of things to be added in order to,
There are a lot of things which you don't need. There are a lot of things which you need to add, right? So this application is basically a generic kind of an application which more or less is similar to the requirement of most of the companies, but every business is different, their sales process is different, their requirement of data is different. So based on that, they might want to add a few things or they might want to remove a few things from here, right? So that is what we are gonna do next, all right? Moreover, this is just a sales application. Now, I want to track my projects also using an application. If I want to track my, this was just a sales process, right? The company says that we want to track projects. The company says that we want to track employee leads using using Salesforce, then those applications we have to design right from the scratch. Okay, so for sales application, I have a ready application. I can customize that. For any other application, let's say you want an application to manage the performance of your employees, you want an application to manage the leaves of the employee, if you want an application to manage projects in the company, to manage the attendance of employees, there are so many things, right, which need to be managed within a company, and for them Salesforce has not given us any standard application. So those applications are the ones that we will need to create. Correct? So just 2 quick minutes, think about this application, and I want everyone to tell me if you have to change something on this application, the one that you saw, what would you change? You can add something, you can remove something. So what we have seen, just think about that application and say what changes you would want to make and where. Quickly, everyone. So just take 2 quick minutes. You can type it in the chat window so that I can see everyone's
On the sales application?
on the sales application, the application that we have seen since yesterday. If you have to change something, then what would you change? What do you think is not useful? What do you think is missing, is required, they have not given? Think about it. Okay. So I see Nikhil's talking about a few things. He says categorize different types of problems into solution. Okay, add delete cases from sales as their main job is to deal with new customers. Okay, remove the cases from the sales app, that is what he is saying. Forward those to service team. So okay, just move it to the service team. Okay, approval required for contract and price negotiation. Remove report dashboard and it is not required for sales agent, only give it, okay, that's fine. So Nikhil feels that report dashboard cases, these things are not required in the sales application, and he also wants to categorize the solutions. Okay, What else? Anyone else who can think of what changes you want to make? Okay, so Venkat says there should be categorization of marketing, the campaigns basically. Okay, that's a good idea. Have more categories for the marketing in different categories and all. Okay. Ravali says, I want all of them except dashboards. I want cases because I want the new customers too. I need the forecasting of my sales and reports too, and that I can improve my sales graph. Okay, so Ravali says she just does not need dashboards, rest everything is fine. I can't think of anything else. That's fine. How about you, Ravi Teja? Did not get anything from your side. Okay. Ravi Teja says no idea. Okay. That's fine. No problem. So I think we are all good here. We understand that there are requirements of making certain changes here and there. Some teams might want to see some data, some teams might not want to see some of them. We might want to have additional tables or objects, right? So let's say the company decides that we want to track invoices also. So in addition to the contract order, I might need one more additional object, invoices, right? Sometimes you will need additional data field in the object, like the one that we are talking about, categorization of marketing or categorization of cases, right? So there you need one additional field, a type of marketing or type of solution, and under that you can have a pick list. Fine. So all these customization is required, and this is something which can be done, and we are going to learn on that part now. We are going to go on that side now.
Jitsa, won't order have the invoice information? What they ordered and all?
No, there can be one purchase order and 10 invoices, right? I mean, can make payments like one.
It does not have anything related to invoice at this point of time. Okay, so you can go ahead and add that thing. Okay, so it's not about, see, ideally what should happen and not. It's basically they have given an application, and in this invoice information is not there. So if you want to include it, which we feel that okay, it should be there, then we'll have to go and do the customization. Alright. So as of now, there is no invoice information on this order thing. You can have invoice information in the order itself, or you can have one more object for the invoice. Got that?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
You mean the billing and rates?
Billing rates, invoices, whatever.
Yeah,
Depending on, see, these are all terminologies. So we are actually not going to get anyhow into the terminologies. We are just going to talk about the technical aspect, right? So you can call it billing, I can call it invoice, someone else might call it something else, right? Based on requirement, we will create the object. Okay. So the
Basically what product and how many and the quantity
many,
and pricing.
right.
Basically that, right?
Right.
Technically, there is an art of
So that is just an example again. Invoice is just an example. You can think of something else also, right, which is required and which you want to track, and for which they have not provided an object, and we want to create an object from our side for that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right? Okay. So that is there. Now okay. So now let's understand the architecture of this application. So because we are to design our own applications, let's understand how it is built. So Salesforce uses an MVC framework, which is a model, view and controller. So controller is set of logic, so we don't have to do anything for that as of now. What we need to understand, we have to understand the model and the view. Model is the database which is there in the backend, and view is the user interface that you get to see. Okay. Now there are several components that we are dealing with here. Okay. The components that we are talking about either have to be on the front end interface or they will be in the model. There are no components in the controller. Controller is just set of logics. Okay. So view is the front page that we get to see. Model is the database. Okay. So whatever components we are talking about here, either they are a part of the model or in the backend, either they are in the backend or they are in the front end user interface. Okay. So there are these components which we deal with. You can call them SFDC components. Okay. First component is an object. Object is equivalent to a table. Okay. So this basically object means a database table. Okay. So where do you think this component is? Object. Is it in the front end or back end? Is it in the model or view?
Back end model.
It's in the database table. Yes. So object is the first component, because we are talking at the back end there is a database table. Database table will comprise of what? In the back end there is a database. Database is formed of what? Tables, right? So object is something which is in the back end. Okay. So all the data that we are storing, everything is going into the objects. So you have an object for campaigns, you have an object for leads, you have another object for accounts. So these are all separate tables in the backend. Okay. So that is first component. Second is field. Field is within the table, right? Field is basically like a column in the table. What do you think? Where is this field thing? Is it on the model or on the view? Back end or front end?
Model, of course.
Model, right. So this is a part of the table, right? So you create a table and then inside the table you create the fields. Okay, like for example.
But it is also seen in the front end, right?
You just view that. Okay, there's a view, but the actual field is in the back end, right?
Yeah.
Now, then there is something called a tab. The other component. So object and fields are the ones that we have in the backend, in the model. So your model consists of tables and the fields in the tables or the columns. In the front end you have tabs. Okay, what is a tab? Tab is a button that connects to an object. This is in the model or view?
View.
This is view because this is a button. This is not actual something in the backend. Now this is just a button which connects you to the object. Okay, so this is a connector to the object, but tab itself is a component of the view. Then there is another thing called an app, which is ordered collection of tabs. So there is another component which we deal with is an app. App is nothing but an ordered collection of tabs, means a collection of buttons. Now this is in the front end or back end?
Front end, sir.
This is also in the front end, in the view. Got it? So we see that
That is nothing but the same call center app, marketing app, right?
right. So whatever those things you see, those are just collection of tabs, nothing else. Okay. Tab is just a button which connects to the backend database. Object is the table and field is the column, the table. Got it? As simple as that. Now, two things which we see here are from the model and two of them are in the front end interface. Okay. If you just understand this much, you can design your own app pretty easily. You can create your own app easily. Okay. So now let's understand the sales app and then let's see how it is. So we have a sales app, right? We see the sales app. So sales app is what? Collection of tabs, right? So when you change the app, you see the tabs will change, the collection of tabs will get changed. See, marketing app has a different set of tabs. Call center has a different set of tabs. Got it? So sales app that we get to see here has all these tabs under it: home, chatter, campaign, lead, account, contact opportunity. All these tabs are there, right? So let's say home, chatter, campaign, lead. So these are all tabs under the sales app. Each of these tabs is connected to the backend object. So there is one object also in the backend which is called campaign. There is another object in the backend which is called lead, right? So these are tabs and these are all objects. Opportunity, cases. So there is an object in the backend called cases. Got it? So an app just has the tabs. The tabs are then connected to the backend database tables, and every table has a few fields. Like campaign has fields like the name of the campaign, start date, end date, and whatever other fields, right? So every table has a few fields. Got the structure now? Are we clear with the structure? Do we understand how it is working?
Can you explain one second?
Hello?
Yeah, can you explain one second?
Yeah. So please tell me what part you could not understand.
No, can you explain from the sales app? How to create the sales app and everything? You said that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So could you understand this part?
Yeah, I understand that part. No,
Okay.
That's
Now, okay. So what is an app? Can you just tell us what is an app as per your understanding?
very easily accessible and we can create.
Can you speak a little louder? I cannot hear you. Please speak a little louder. Yeah. What is an app?
No, how do you do it?
No, I cannot hear you. Can you please come a little closer to your microphone? Yeah. Speak now. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So reason for you asking you this is not to demoralize you or say that don't ask question, but so you don't have to say that please go ahead or something like that. Please tell me what you have understood. I also need to understand you where your understanding is, right?
Yeah.
So,
Actually, you said that
yeah.
you're saying about the sales app, how to create the sales app.
Yeah. So my question is, what is an app as per your understanding?
Yeah, as per here, app is nothing but we can usually access and we can save the date and everything.
Okay, so that is the reason why I was asking you, did you understand till here? You said yes, but I see that you have not understood this step also. Fine.
Okay. Okay.
So it's pretty clearly written here, it's an ordered collection of tabs. It's just a collection of tabs, that's it. And what is a tab? What is your understanding? What is a tab?
That connects to an object.
What is a tab? Tab. Were you listening to the session while I was discussing all these things?
That connects to an object.
Yeah. My question is, were you listening to the session while I was discussing these things? Object, field, tab, app.
Can you explain again, sir? I did not get you. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Fine. So that is again my question is that which part you want me to explain again? See, explain again is a very wide term, right? So which part do you want me to explain? Which thing you could not understand? For everyone, please be specific on your queries. I do not want someone to be just say listening to something else for 40 minutes and then says explain it to me again. I do not understand what is that explain again mean. Okay, so please be specific. When you want me to explain something second time to you, I want you to put some effort and tell me that, okay fine sir, this is my understanding and this is where I am struggling to understand. Please tell me this part. Okay. So tell me which part you want me to explain.
I'm struggling to understand this one, sir. You are
Which
saying
one?
about the components, object, field. You written something now. I understand that object and field comes under
Object and field you understand. Tab do you understand?
Yep.
So what is a tab? Button that connects to an object.
An object, yep.
What is an app? Collection of tabs.
Collection of tabs, yep.
Simple. So the sales app that we see, what is that sales app? Sales app is then what? If an app is collection of tabs, sales app is also a collection of sales app is also a collection of tabs.
Tabs and links.
Right. Simple. Venkat, you there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So that question was for you. I was asking you that what is that sales app thing. Okay, fine. So sales app is basically collection of these tabs which we see here. Now these tabs, each of these tabs is connected to the object. So that is what we are listing down here, that the sales app has the following tabs: the home, chatter, campaign, that we can see here, right? The moment I go to sales app, we can see all these tabs under this, right?
Yeah, I got it, sir. Okay, sir.
Now each of these tabs is connected to an object. Simple.
Yeah, exactly.
Jitsa, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please tell me.
This home and chatter, they don't have any object, I mean to say table?
Okay. No. Home and chatter are not connected to any objects in the backend, but they have the, these are just interfaces. So they have not got anything to do with the table or database. Correct?
Just like a web page maybe?
More like a page, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine. So then these tabs are connected to the objects, and objects do have their own fields and all. Okay. So that is how the thing is. We are clear on this? Please let me know if the doubts are clear on this. Then
Yeah. Now I got it, sir. Now. Yeah.
okay, and please be a little more attentive. I could understand that you missed quite a few bit of it, and then you all of a sudden come and say that please repeat. That is a bit of, one, I want everyone to be very attentive during the session. Don't this online session, it's very difficult to track who is doing what, right? And then if someone asks a question like this, which is a vague question, you please repeat again. That interrupts the flow for everyone. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So please try and make sure that we are asking the questions on time again. If you did not understand this tab thing, ask me when I'm talking about tab. Make sure then that when I move into the next topic, then you don't tell me that, okay fine, please repeat this or something like that. Okay, so that will help all of us. Okay, let's be a little more attentive.
Yeah. Sorry, really sorry.
No problem. No, don't have to be sorry about that. But what I'm saying is, we just have to improve that part, right? So that we are saving the time. All right. So now we understand the architecture. So we have seen that there is an app. So far, what we were thinking about an app, that there is an application and all that. It's just a simple UI component. It's just a collection of a few tabs. So now if you have to create an object, first thing what you have to do, if you have to create an app, first thing what you have to do, you have to think about the objects or the data that you need in that particular app. Let's say account, contact, opportunity. Okay, those tables have to be there in the backend. We have to have the tabs for those tables, and I will create an app and put all those tabs in an application. That's it. So an application is nothing more than a collection of tabs or a collection of buttons. Correct?
Sir, I have a question, sir. In general, okay, in a nice, for an example, Dell, okay, in that company, generally, okay, I understand that apps are restricted based on the how the employee is working. Different segments, they have different apps. But how many apps might the Salesforce application they make customized? Like now they have sales marketing like this, right? How many do you, do you think of, like how many apps can be there based on the business requirement?
That depends on the edition that you have taken. Okay, so that is
no, I'm not asking about default, sir. Not the default app, but
the default custom also. How many custom you can create, that depends on the edition that you have taken. Okay, so there's an edition called unlimited edition. Okay, in unlimited edition, there is no limit of how many apps you can have. The other one that we have is an enterprise edition. In enterprise edition, you can have 10 custom apps. So in addition to whatever we have got, you can get 10 custom apps in an enterprise edition if you are using an enterprise edition. If you are using an unlimited edition, for unlimited you need to pay $250 per user per month.
Okay, sir. How about like tabs, sir? Is there any limitation for the tabs within an within an application?
No, no limitation for tab. Tab can be equal to the number of objects or more than that also. So no limitation.
But from the UI standpoint, more tabs, makes worse.
So that is something, So that is something which is not restricted from Salesforce.com side. You have to understand, that's a very valid thing that from the user standpoint, if you have more tabs, ultimately, how many tabs you can display here. After this, you cannot display more tabs, right? So you have to understand that you don't dump in a lot of tabs inside one app. So that is something that we have to do responsibly, that we just show the tabs which are useful to the end users. Fine. But Salesforce does not put any restriction on that.
Jeet sir? Usually, for example, what are the apps that one organization can have? Just for an example, for a better understanding. Sales, marketing, call center.
See, sales, marketing, CRM apps are all common apps. I mean, the standard ones which are provided by Salesforce. Now we need, sometimes a company needs apps which are related to maybe managing their employees, because employees again one common thing. Some companies require apps related to, so depending on the business, right? If you're talking about a manufacturing business, they might have a supply chain management app, project management app. So we are actually going to design one or two apps during our training program, and we will see. So you can have app for anything. A few months back, I did an app for a client, and that was visitor management app. An app where they were tracking visitors. The people who are visiting the office. You go to an office, you must have seen a visitor register there, right? You have to write that I have to meet this person, this is the entry time, this is the exit time. This company decided to have that app designed for the receptionist so that she can track all the visitors there. So that way, it depends on the requirement of the company, they can design any sort of app. And also depends on your edition that how many apps you are allowed to design. Correct?
So a receptionist should first know how to use a Salesforce to use that app.
How much Salesforce she needs to know? She just needs to know how to log in, click on this, and then enter the details. Let's say instead of accounts, if you just have to enter details, why does she need to learn complete Salesforce, right?
Right.
So it's just an
do you have 3 more minutes? I have
sorry.
Do you have more time? Like 3 minutes? I have one more question.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, sir. Like in a company, sir, there might be a lot of users, Salesforce users. Okay, for an example, my company is completely based on services, and I have a lot of users who needs to make sales. Okay, 100 people. But you can't expect me, because it's a lot of money, right? Because to buy enterprise for each and everyone, like for all the 100 agents. So is it a possibility that I can buy like 80 licenses of normal ones and 20 enterprise licenses? Is that a possibility? And that is my first question. And the second question is like instead of using Salesforce, can he just use Excel sheet and all, and at the end of the day submit it to his manager, and the manager uploads it into Salesforce, so that you understand my question, right, sir? I mean, I think
Yeah, so I completely get your question. Actually, in one of these sessions, after, once you've got some more idea on this, I will talk on the licensing and how you can save on the licensing fee for the clients. We will have a discussion on that, and we will spend some time on that. So that is something that you can just have. So the tips and tricks for saving the money on the license part. So that first question, I think we will discuss later. Talking about your Excel sheet wala concept, it's good concept. I mean, you say that someone will put all the data in the Excel sheet throughout the day, and then in the evening manager will upload and all that stuff. That is good, and I have seen some companies do that.
But here one problem is that we are wasting the employee time, sir.
Yeah.
So one work they are doing two persons.
Right. So there will be waste of time. There will be lack of collaboration, synchronization.
Yeah, that's why nowadays companies are not allowing. They are using by the receptionist only, like this example.
Right.
What
And
we are
then
given.
how much will you save? Let's say in a month you are saving $125. Your employee is costing you more than that in a day. A lot more than that in a day or something like that. So now,
And there is a chance of error also.
there is a chance, scope of error and all that stuff. So, but what he talked about, I just can think of one good example for that, which comes for a client. This client has a big research team. There are like close to 20 people who do the data research. Okay, and these data research team, they find out, let's say they are searching for data in and around California, and there's a small team of 5 people who's searching for the data in New York. So this research team keeps on, searching for the data, find contacts, and find the email IDs, phone number. They keep on putting it in an Excel spreadsheet, and I think end of every day they put it all. Not every day. I think they do it once or twice in a week. They put all this data into one single Excel spreadsheet and upload it at once to Salesforce. Right. So I mean, there are some companies, because Nikhil asked about this, it came to mind. There are some companies who do this sort of activity, but it's not very helpful actually. Okay. License fee, even if you are able to save, you are spending a lot of extra time for your employees, and then your manager is also getting disturbed. This guy is also getting disturbed. So that is the thing, right? Okay. So let's do this.